Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. So, can you hear my voice?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Uh, okay. So for those who haven't scanned your attendance, so please scan your attendance first. Yeah, we're going to start in another in 5 minutes time. Okay, so we wait for the rest of the friend to join in. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. So can we start now? So dah. Uh, so I would like to deactivate the QR code now. So is it okay? So everybody already scan your attendance? Okay. Then okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Activate. Okay. Boleh dengar semua?
Boleh boleh Doktor.
Ini
Boleh sir.
Tengok cycle ambil adik. Okay. So basically, for today's studio class, basically, I'm going to have discussion on the progress of your work. So, okay. So on things that I already shared with you on the MATLAB simulating Arduino, on the SolidWorks. I hope it's enough for you to kickstart or to kickstart your own exploration on these things, because they are things that you're going to use in delivering your project, both in this semester, the how to design 2 credits and how to design 3 credits this next semester. It's just that for this semester, you're just going at the end of this semester, you're just going to propose a report, which is that report is like going to be like your engineering proposal, okay. And then for the next semester, in the second semester, or during the AD auto design 2, so basically you will be able to attend UTM and make or do the fabrication on the design. Okay, if not, we're going to go the same thing. It's just pure simulation. It's just that it's going to be a very thorough simulation work and specification development. Okay, we just that for this semester we're going to fit your work, the scope of your work with 2 credit for this subject for this semester. Okay, so basically, yeah. So anybody would like to discuss on the progress of your work? So basically, 30 students, and how many students per group? I already forgot.
15.
Oh,
For big group, one big group, 15.
okay, 15. So meaning that, yeah. So meaning that there's only 2 group for this 2 credit. Yeah, in next semester, if we're going to have more groups to do a thorough design on the EV car, either you're going to be fabricated or we're just going to do the pure simulation work or CAE analysis because of this COVID thing. Okay, so anybody that would like to share your progress? Okay, yeah, I'm okay. I'm quite open with your progress. It's just that you need to remember, if you don't have any progress, meaning that there's nothing to discuss with me. And when there's nothing to discuss with me, when it comes to the report submission, yeah, you're going to do a lot of mistakes. And that one, if I realize you did nothing, so you're going to affect your marks, which is going to affect your grades. Okay. So be open, because yeah, but this is your work, not my work. I'm just going to assist your work. Okay, if you don't ask me questions, and yeah, I do not know where to start in terms of guiding you in doing this engineering analysis. Okay, and anything that anybody that would like or have any queries regarding your subgroup, or maybe there's a leader for each group they're going to represent and present to me the progress of current progress. So anybody? Sebab kalau tak ada, for this session, for this afternoon session, you better have your own meetings and to discuss on your work. Because later on, after this, till the end of this semester, you're just going to do the workout on the project. So anything that you would like to ask me? Ada? Tak ada? Okay, kalau tak ada, okay, what I want you to do is that, yeah, this is the first time me monitoring your progress. So, okay, so saya faham, saya dah agak dalam seri yang tak buat. Okay, so meaning that for this afternoon, what I want you to do is that you start discussing you work within your own group, and I want a report to be submitted to me by this by midnight today. Okay, okay. So provide the progress report for today's studio session. Okay, I want you to do, yeah, everybody already know their subgroup, and you already have your own subgroup leader as well as the team members. So you need to figure out on yourself. So what I want is that I want reports of your for your today's meeting. Okay, by tonight. Okay, send it in WhatsApp group because we haven't set the Padlet. Okay, any question?
Betul.
Yeah.
Um, saya dari powertrain.
Okay.
I just want to ask lah, from our group, first untuk to test, let's say we already know the spec of our electric motor, right?
Okay.
Okay. So from the power and the RPM, we know the torque lah kan? Betul tak?
Okay.
The torque.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How, macam mana kita nak buat analysis on the torque value daripada given torque value tu,
Okay.
macam mana nak buat analysis stress analysis dekat chain dia,
Okay.
chain dengan
Itu itu yang saya cakap, awak buat dimension analysis. Okay, yang previously that I already shown you the motion analysis using CAD model, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then from the motions of the assembled parts, we can get dynamic loading, and then that dynamic loading we use to analyze individual parts. Okay, faham?
No, faham. That means, so that means benda tu kena dalam assembly lah, kan?
Kena dalam bentuk dalam assembly lah. So meaning that you know right now for the moment you don't have to finish everything, but at least have something. Okay, right? I don't expect you to progress siap buat analysis. Cannot lah, because you will start previously just been working on the theory, and then for the second part you start doing hands-on. So for the moment, please have for each group subgroup. So please have your CAD model, and then this CAD model need to be integrated in overall EV vehicle lah. Okay, with the size that already been discussed with Dr. Izhari. Okay, but yeah, but every subgroup need to work out with the CAD. Okay, and then from CAD, you do the necessary analysis, because not every group going to do the CAE analysis, and also not every group going to do the simulating Arduino based kind of work. Okay, faham? Okay. Faham? Okay, untuk yang so yang untuk transmission ni saya skill lah dengan buat already discuss the other session, the one who took the 3 credit auto design. Let me open this one first. Okay, but during that time session only 2 groups came out asking things, so I can only share what already been discussed during that time. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to ask me things that you are not here. Okay, so kalau tak tanya saya pun tak tahu nak cerita kat mana. Okay. Kelas. Okay. 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 Okay, boleh nampak saya punya group, saya punya slide.
Boleh doktor.
Okay, so basically for this one I'm talking about on the powertrain and monitoring subgroup. So basically there are two main work that or two main proposal that you need to work out with. The first one is doing the analysis on the the performance of that powertrain itself, and then second one is proposing the monitoring system for the powertrain. Because okay, the first one is actually you already learn for those who already took the the vehicle dynamics, engine combustion system, turbo system. I think you did learn on how to do the analysis in estimating the longitudinal acceleration performance. Okay, looking at which means that you can analyze with a certain engine performance or motor performance. You can analyze how fast that the car that being equipped by that powertrain can go accelerate. Okay, and then acceleration. Okay, that analysis usually you can do it by using Excel file sheet, or can do it using the Simulink. Okay, and then you need and then one more thing. Basically, during this powertrain performance, what we're looking at is that we're going to look at the power consumed, and then the discharge rate and state of charge of the battery. And then you need to also for these purposes, because what you learn during the elective subject, either the VD, ICE, or turbocharge Dr. Srita subject, you did learn to estimate the vehicle longitudinal performance or acceleration performance when you have the characteristic of the engine itself. It's just that for the electric vehicle, you're going to have different characteristic. Okay, this is the main characteristic or the general characteristic for the electric vehicle, which is for the motor. So if you can take a look at the ICE engine, you have power torque curve. Okay, this is the tak nampak laser lagi. Okay, this is the curve for the power, and then this is the curve for the torque. As you can see that for engine, normally the amount of torque at very low RPM is low. Okay, compared to the electric motor, even at very zero RPM, it can start by giving the maximum as it can. Okay, and then it just that it will only start decreasing after certain RPM, which is let's say for example 3000 RPM. So by using this characteristic, you can already consume the amount of the acceleration performance or the speed or for the vehicle, okay, for the vehicle. And then you can, by linking with the battery engine, by linking the vehicle model with the battery, with the motor, you can also already consider or do the calculation on the power consumed. Okay, and then also the discharge rate. So for this one, there's a lot of resources available in the internet that you can use. Okay, you just need to find to search for it, and then study about it, and then do it first, and then discuss with me. Okay, just in case you're not sure what you're doing. But please have this information with you first before you come and discuss with me. And for the second one is the monitoring system, which is you have the this is electric vehicle, where normally in electric vehicle we're going to monitor the state of the battery, and then the what power consumed, the voltage, the current, and then also since that you're doing this one, you also need to monitor the vehicle speed. Okay, this one you need to propose to me the Simulink Arduino system. Okay, management system complete with the graphical user interface. Like you are designing a dashboard for your electric vehicle. Okay, this is actually the two work for this subgroup. It's just that another one is you need to work out on the since that this powertrain, you're going to analyze the powertrain, the chain, things like that. You want to analyze the stress analysis, kind of that. You need to work out on your own CAD model. Okay, because from that CAD model you can only run the motion analysis, and get the dynamic loading from that motion, and then use it to analyze your components individually. Okay, for this one, okay, usually I think one department, which is the system integration, need to look at it. Okay, vehicle, there's another subgroup. Okay, this is actually the we have another subgroup, which is vehicle integration, right? So this department or subgroup is responsible to make sure to integrate everything So to overlook, is that do you really need to do the stress analysis or the CAE analysis for the purpose in determining the reliability, the durability, as well as the integrity of the integrated parts? Because right now, what you're doing right now is you are actually integrating parts separately. You're not designing things from scratch. So the issue when you start designing things or integrated parts separately, which is you bought part A from shop A, part B from shop B. So sometimes there's going to be a mismatch. So you need to design something in between. So this is the role of the vehicle integration subgroup, or what I would call as a department lah. Okay, so you need to look at either it's going to be suitable or not. So the way that you're doing or determining either it's suitable or not in terms of this integration, buat lah. You just need to do the CIA analysis and then just evaluate in terms of geometry. Is it going can be integrated? If not, you need to design a new adapter, things like that. Okay, but for sure each subgroup need to have their own CAD model before it being integrated by the by the integrated by the integration subgroup. Faham? So you need to discuss this thing because you cannot work on your own because one group has 15 students uh, and one group has a 5 group. So meaning that five students for each group. So you need to work out. So you cannot you cannot just because you like to become or play a sleeping partner role. You're just going to sell lah kat kawan-kawan awak yang usaha nak dapat ataupun nak siapkan kerja sebab your work, if you don't do your work, is going to sekat progress group lain. So please do your role lah. Okay, itu yang untuk yang power monitoring sajalah. So basically, if you want to do analysis, so basically this one for kind of analysis, if you are unsure, you need to check with the integration department or subgroup, and then kalau for other group, if you're not sure what kind of analysis, so the one that responsible that analysis that need to be done, yang vehicle subgroup punya vehicle integration lah need to be responsible for the analysis. Okay. Faham? Faham tak? Any question?
Faham dah.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, ini yang powertrain. So saya just last time and then another subgroup yang tanya saya awak punya chassis analysis. So for chassis analysis, take note lah. So basically for chassis analysis, you need to have your own chassis first. So okay, right now for each subgroup, you need to work out with your own with your own CAD model. So meaning that for those ride handling, you need to design your suspension. Then for chassis, you need to have a CAD model for chassis. For steering and braking, you need to have your own CAD model for chassis and braking. So awak nak buat tu kalau macam at the moment if you don't know the dimension, maybe you can come up with your own conceptual design CAD model. And if you want to work make it first time right, so you need to discuss with everybody in terms of geometry before you start doing your own CAD model. But before you integrate with the overall vehicle assembly, so each subgroup, since that you already have your own CAD model, you can start doing your own motion analysis. Okay, so meaning that okay, for this one, for chassis analysis, so let's say that everybody is not finished yet doing having their CAD model. It's just that for chassis, you already have its own chassis design. So for chassis design, there's 2 type of analysis that you need to do. Is the first one is doing the static analysis and dynamic analysis. For static, meaning that you're doing the analysis while the car is not moving. So we have 2 types. So the first one, we are looking at the static loading, the weight of the chassis and the weight of the driver itself. When it sitting in the chassis, you just need to put the static loading. And our concern during static loading is to see the minimum. We need to have a minimum deflection. Okay, and then there is no failure in terms of stress. In terms of minimum deflection, we need to make sure that whenever that there's a load, or say the load of the driver, when the car is not moving, you need to make sure that the car is not bending excessively. Okay, because if it does during the static loading, meaning that it's probably going to deflect a lot when the car is moving. Okay, deflect, which is we try to avoid lah. Okay, and then also we need to make sure that during static loading, there is no failure in terms of stresses. And then this one you can decide based on the safety factor. Okay, ni awak tahu lah. So for those who yang dah ni hopefully awak faham lah bila saya cakap failure of stress ni, awak tengok safety factor lah. Ini awak dah ambil component design. Okay, and then second type of static analysis is that we need to determine the torsional loading, because for chassis, for those who already took this vehicle structure with Dr. Rahim, I'm sure that you are familiarized with the torsional stiffness of your chassis. So you need to do this kind of analysis where for the chassis only, you need to fix the rear part of your chassis, and then by applying and the front part of chassis, you're going to apply a constant amount of force, and then you're going to see how much that the chassis going to have going to be torsion, and then you're going to see in terms of the either Newton meter per radian or Newton meter per degree. Okay. So this is the how we determine the torsional stiffness for a chassis. Second one is the dynamic loading. Okay, for this dynamic loading is that we are analyzing the stresses which occur inside within the chassis itself while the car is moving. So we have several maneuvers for vehicles. So you need to check. Okay, there's standard test for a vehicle. There's a J-turn, Salem test, double lane chain test, and single lane chain test. So this one, you need to find yourself the standards. So how the cars need to be maneuvered during Salem. So meaning that for Salem, for Salem test, what is the turning radius? What is the speed during the Salem test? How much the driver need to steer the steering wheel? So you need to know the standard and apply in your motion analysis of SolidWorks. Once you did that, you're going to get the dynamic loading, the one that the method I already shared with you in the previous class, that we can get this dynamic motion load or dynamic loading set, dynamic load set during the dynamic motion. Okay, then we just export the load to do the analysis on individual parts. Okay, so in this case, we are doing on chassis, so we just export the dynamic load set into the chassis, and then we do the analysis when we're going to do the stress analysis, and then we're going to determine the safety factor, and then take a look at the deflection during that motion, meaning that we need to check that it does not excessive. Okay, usually we try to make sure that it's less than 1 mm, okay, or 5 mm. Okay, but this one depend on the material that you are supposed to do. Okay, and then we're going to take a look at the fatigue based on that loading, and then we're going to do the also as model analysis, where in the model analysis we're trying to see or figure out with that chassis design what is the natural frequency. So what the idea is that whenever you're trying to determine the model the natural frequency through this model analysis, you're trying to make sure that your chassis, if the natural frequency falls outside of the operating range of the EV operating range, meaning that let's say that for EV, the operating range, let's say that between 0 to 5,000 RPM, you need to make sure that the natural frequency of that chassis falls outside more than 5,000 RPM, meaning that let's say that 6,000. Yeah, since that the natural frequency of the chassis falls at 6,000 RPM, meaning that whenever you run within from 0 to 5,000 RPM, your chassis won't have excessive vibration. Okay, so that's how we do the model analysis. It's just that for fatigue model analysis, there's I already show you the icon that you need to click or to go through if you want to do this kind of analysis. Okay, and then there's a lot of references that you can refer in the internet, especially in the YouTube. Okay, this is just for chassis analysis. Okay, so any questions on this chassis analysis and the powertrain?
Doctor.
Yep.
My group is a subgroup for the safety and structure, so I do the chassis.
Yeah, you do the chassis.
But sir, our group is doing like we just only design the frame only, and then we got in front got the suspension. We never assembly them because it is done by other group lah. So
Okay.
how we need to how we can analyze the
Then that's why I say you need to have discussion within the subgroup. Okay, I'm going to let you work out on your own, work out, have your discussion, because this is actually the little things that happening in the within the R&D department of OEM. Okay, usually they have different departments. They know their what need to be done, and then they're going to contribute. Okay, and then for each group they need to communicate each other what you want and what should I give or share to you. Okay, so that's how it works in the industry. So you don't, if you want to make sure that everything, meaning that if you want to make sure that your CAD model can be assembled with the other CAD model from other group, then you need to discuss lah, because you need to make sure that the dimension is in line, so that you can fit each other components. That one I leave it to you. You're already grown up. So arrange a meeting, have a discussion. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, then we need to finalize only one design lah, because for our group, we have total
I don't know lah.
three design.
You discuss dulu lah. Yeah, that three design. You need to discuss which one you're going to pick. And then once you pick it up, especially chassis, so the rest going to follow lah. Okay, so the rest need to follow. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
sir.
so the decision which chassis design that you're going to choose or that you're going to pick, so up to your discussion. I'm okay. Just that you need to justify why, because these are the things that these are the things that I and the Tezali going to ask you why. Okay, so you justify lah. So and then the justification need to be based on the meetings lah, because yeah, you cannot make the decision on your own. You also need to seek others opinion, because if you pick you make decisions, let's say the decision, okay, I want to pick, since I already have three chassis design, I want to pick design A, for example, and then when we pick design A, the rest, if they found out they cannot fit their CAD model with your design A chassis, then you're going to be in trouble lah. So better have discussion. Okay, so that's what you're supposed to do in this subject. Have a discussion a lot, have a meeting a lot. I'm just going to monitor, I'm just going to sit back and see, and then assist whenever necessary. But what I want, what the Tizari want, then is just want a report that engineering report, which is engineering technical report, which is the one that you're going to use as a base for your next semester auto design tool. Okay, so for this semester it's okay. If you want to learn by mistake, if you make mistake, just make a lot of mistakes. As long at least you know things that are right, things that which is not right. Okay, because you are a student, you should learn from mistakes. Okay, it's just that when it comes to actual thing, don't make mistake lah, because you already make enough mistakes for this subject. Okay, and then one more thing, so please do your work, because if you don't do your work, you don't know what to ask. So if you don't know what to ask, how come I going to assist you? Okay, worst case, okay, let's say and then this one applies to all group. Don't play as a sleeping partner. Okay, because later on I will know who's not functioning in the subgroup or in the group. Okay, when this kind of student, yeah, for sure I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail this student. Okay, because don't give problem to your friends lah. So your friends keep giving an effort, so don't fail him as well. If you want to fail yourself. Okay, this one I need to speak like this, because I'm seeing this every semester of auto design classes. Okay, so play your role. Okay, any other question?
Doctor.
Yep.
I'm from vehicle integration subgroup.
Okay.
So sekarang ni I just we already designed the seat and the placement of the component untuk subgroup. So jadi next analysis, the scope analysis, jadinya kita orang sepatutnya macam scope analysis untuk next.
Okay, this patutnya your responsible is that you're responsible. Okay, you need to have CAD model for standard component, let's say seat, signal light, then switches, and then you need to wait for components from other subgroup, because your function is to integrate all of these CAD model from other group as well, making a complete electric vehicle. Okay, meaning that if there is a mismatch between the part or CAD model from other group with the chassis, it's your task to design the bracket and then do the assembly. And then as well, your function is to pasang lampu as well as doing the wiring for electrical harness. So ini awak kena belajar lah untuk dalam SolidWorks. Ini saya tak nak ajar, so awak boleh explore sendiri. Dia ada part dalam SolidWorks tu where we can draw or create a wire harness. So meaning that you can have a wire based on kind of that bending that you would like to do. So you need to look out for the tutorial in the internet, especially the YouTube. Okay, so your part for vehicle integration, integrate everything. Make sure that even though that you have different sizes of parts, it's your job to make sure that these parts can be fit into the chassis. Okay, faham?
Oh, okay, faham lagi.
Okay, and then kalau nak buat analysis tu, okay, it's your job also to make sure that this analysis need to be done. Either you do it or you need to make sure that analysis which belong to that group do it. But it's just that it's your function to make sure that they are doing the analysis. Okay, kalau tak boleh awak assist lah. But tapi awak punya responsibility is to make sure that kind of analysis exists in your design.
Okay, so jadinya untuk analisis tu kita sebagai vehicle integration, so kita assist lah untuk group lain buat analisis.
Yes, assist. Kalau macam contohnya lah sekarang ni, let's say that the right handling department provide you with the CAD model for the suspension, right? Okay, and then your job is to make sure that suspension component can be fit or installed or assembled with the chassis. Okay, and then for in terms of the suspension performance analysis, the CA analysis for that suspension, the right handling group kena buat lah. And then it's just that whenever the suspension have problems to be integrated with the chassis, you need to design the bracket for that suspension.
Oh, okay.
That bracket analysis, you are the one that need to do lah, not them.
Oh, okay. So jadinya we also nak buat macam bracket apa semua untuk fit that.
Yes, bracket, the wiring, harness tu is your responsibility, and then you need to make sure that every single parts which came from other group can be assembled or fits well in the chassis. Okay, if there is no let's say that you already make the bracket and you see that the geometry need to be changed, and then you just be informed to the chassis or to the CAD owner. We call as a CAD owner. You need to change the dimension a bit to fit my bracket. Itu je. Okay. So basically this is how they work in the industry. So they don't have one department that works everything. So meaning that there is a subgroup ones working on the right handling, braking, CFD. So in the end, is the vehicle integration department yang akan buat kerja, yang akan assemble all the puzzles. So meaning that if you found any things that which is not right, so you're going to inform to the CAD owner. So industry they call it as the project owner. So they're going to do the correction lah before being passed back to the vehicle integration department. Itu je. So that's how I work in the industry. So I'm trying my best to expose to you to this kind of culture that being practiced in the industry, especially Proton lah. Because last time saya dekat area ni Proton, so I work like this. Okay, faham? So basically usually have discussion. So it's normal to have different opinions, but you need to settle on your own lah. So if you have different opinions, so pandai-pandai lah. Sebab awak nak bertengkar kan, so up to you, because that industry is like this. So awak nak tengkar macam mana sekalipun, if you want to have any discussion, a long quarrel, in the end, this job need to be settled and delivered. Itu je. Okay? Faham? So pandai lah awak settle among your group member. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions? Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, I'm going to end this session. Okay, but for you need to continue within your group, create your own online session, do the discussion, and I want the report for today's progress by mail lah sebelum pukul 12. Okay? Okay, kalau tak ada, soalan, so class dismiss. So saya tunggu report malam ni pukul 11. And then please make sure you send me the report because this is actually the report that I'm going to comment and discuss during our next session, which is next week. Okay, kalau awak tak buat, susah lah saya tak ada apa nak apa, tak ada base ataupun tak ada reference to comment on your progress. Okay, I'm just going to assist you. If you don't do your work, then I cannot assist you. Okay. Okay, if there's no question, so okay, that's it. So the class dismissed, but please continue with your group's meeting. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good day. Okay, ni awak sambung awak punya meeting. Pulanglah, dan ni saya nak report malam ni sebelum pukul 12. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening.